Look at the phone in your hand right now. Now put it down, because I'm about to tell you this. That phone is connected to the most fragile system in the world, and that system could collapse much sooner than you think. Humanity's most powerful technology is produced at its most vulnerable point. One island, one company, one crisis, and the world cannot handle it. Today, I'm going to explain this to you. You wake up in the morning, you reach for your phone, you send a message, you read the news, you play music. None of this is magic. But have you ever thought about the system behind it? Behind every touch, there are billions of operations. Every app, every screen, every vibration, they all depend on microchips. These tiny components, sometimes half the size of your fingernail, are the most complex objects humanity has ever created. And they are everywhere, not just in your phone, in your car, your refrigerator, elevators, traffic lights, even in the devices your doctor uses. Without chips, nothing works. Just think for a moment. Imagine everything suddenly stopping. Do you remember 2021? The world was strange back then. When you went to car dealerships, the shelves were empty. No one understood why. Factories were running, workers were there, raw materials existed, but there was no production. Why? Because there were no chips. A modern car is not just an engine and a steering wheel. It contains hundreds, even thousands of microchips, brake systems, engine control, airbags, navigation, parking sensors. They all depend on chips. And at that time, the world saw this fragility for the first time. But that crisis was small. It was just a warning. Let's scale it up. Think about hospitals, MRI machines, heart monitors, ventilators, drug dosage systems. They all rely on chips. Without chips, life-saving devices stop working. This is not just an economic issue. This is a matter of life and death. Think about airplanes. A modern aircraft relies on thousands of chip-based systems from takeoff to landing. The pilot's displays, autopilot systems. Think about banking, money transfers, ATM's credit card transactions. Behind all of this are massive data centers. And at the heart of those data centers are microchips again. Even the video you're watching right now runs on chips. So this is not just a technology issue. This is modern life itself. And now you're about to hear the most dangerous truth. The majority of the world's most advanced semiconductor production comes from a single island, Taiwan. One point. And at the very center of this system is a single company, TSMC. Giants like Apple, Nvidia, AMD, Qualcomm all depend on it. This is not an ordinary factory. The most complex things humanity has ever built are made here. Precision at the nanometer level. Even a single dust particle can ruin production. That's why these factories operate at near space station levels of cleanliness. If it's this important, why doesn't everyone produce it? The answer isn't simple, because this is one of the hardest things humanity has ever done. Building a factory requires billions of dollars, but money isn't enough. Training engineers takes years, supply chains take decades, and most importantly, this knowledge cannot be bought. TSMC reached this level through decades of experience. There is no shortcut. That's why the US, Europe, and Japan are investing billions. But results will take time, years. Now we come to the real question. Taiwan is a geopolitically sensitive region. Tensions with China are constantly rising. But even without war, there is risk. An earthquake, a cyber attack, an economic crisis. A single event is enough. Week 1. News breaks. Markets shake. It's called temporary. Month 1. Supply chains begin to break. 3 months later, factories shut down, products decline, prices rise. 6 months later, black markets emerge. Countries fight for chips. After 1 year, everyday life changes. And this is no longer just an economic crisis. It becomes a global crisis. Modern militaries cannot function without chips, missiles, radars, drones, communication systems, all depend on microchips. If chip flow stops, the balance of power changes. That's why major countries now see this as a national security issue. The world sees this risk. The US, Europe, Japan, China, all are trying to bring production back to their own countries. New factories are being built. But the truth is, this process will take years. There is no short-term solution. Now think again, what if this system really stops? What collapses first, and how much can the world endure? The answer is unsettling. No one truly knows. But we do know one thing. The modern world looks strong. But in reality, it depends on a single point of failure. And the heart of that system still beats on one island. If you enjoy this kind of analysis, don't forget to subscribe. Because the next crisis might be closer than you think.